Today on DC News Now, 2 suspects in custody after barricading in an empty building. What DC police are saying this afternoon.
Hundreds of Fairfax Connector workers striking today, what they're calling for, and the impact on the bus service.
Plus, new details from District Dogs and the employee that allegedly hit and killed a dog there. What they're saying led up to the dog's death. Also, cloudy today with rain coming in. Our Brittany Ward is tracking the showers. And reunited at last.
To the world, he's a man, but to us, he's the whole world.
One Prince George's County man finally back with his family.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Brittany Ward joins us with the latest check on the forecast. Brittany, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we saw the sun. Gray skies today.
Yeah, not seeing no sunshine across much of the DMV. We're going to be dealing with clouds as we head towards the end of the work week, and we're also going to be tracking some soggy conditions. So let's take a look at radar showing you the last hour. We finally started to see those showers roll their way into the higher elevations, mainly off to the north and west, and kind of putting a pause on radar and zooming it in to kind of show you where we're seeing those soggy conditions. We started to see some light sprinkles work their way in southern Montgomery County, portions of northwest Washington, and then further off to the north and west. That's where we're really seeing the bulk of those showers activity, right along I-81 in Martinsburg. You guys are seeing some light drizzle, and then as you head over there to Thurmont, further off to the east, we're also starting to see some showers work their way into Carroll County. Now, on and off again showers. That's what we're going to be dealing with as we head through your day today, but temperature-wise, we are tracking a warm-up. Dealing with mild conditions right now across much of the area. 44 is what we're currently sitting at in the nation's capital. 49 is the current temperature there in Fredericksburg, flirting with 50s. And then as you head further off to the north and west, we're going to be holding on to the mid to upper 30s. But we have a southerly flow that'll be ushering in the warm air we're going to be dealing with, and highs today we'll be hitting the 50s mark. So planning your afternoon across much of the area, we are going to be tracking rain through much of the day. The good news is not everyone's going to be seeing them at the same time. This rain will really be scattered in nature, and it will be light. By that 1 o'clock hour, we're still going to be holding on to the upper 40s here in the nation's capital. We start to warm it up into the lower 50s as we head into that 2 and 3 o'clock hour. So if you do have any afternoon plans, definitely want to make sure you grab the umbrella when heading out the door today. Looking ahead the next 3 days, we're going to be dealing with scattered showers as we head through your day today. Highs are going to be getting into the 50s. Then we're talking 60s as we head into your Friday. Still going to be holding on to a few morning showers, but then notice we start to see a temperature drop as we head into your weekend. We start to see drier conditions, but those clouds will be sticking around. So keep it here, Mark. We do have another warm up to talk about in that 7-day forecast.
All right, Brittany, thank you. 2 people are in police custody following a barricade incident. DC News Now's Candace Cole was there. She has the latest.
DC police have detained 2 people involved in a suspected armed robbery that took place this morning in the 900 block of U Street Northwest after they barricaded themselves inside a building. According to police, an officer was flagged down by a victim claiming to have been robbed by 2 people around 8:06 a.m. Thursday. The 2 suspects ran into an unoccupied building on Howard University's campus in the 2000 block of Georgia Avenue Northwest, where they were later captured by police and detained. Road closures were set up in the 2000 block of Georgia Avenue between V Street and Florida Avenue, and the 7 and 800 blocks of Florida Avenue between 7th and 9th Streets. Now, police reported no injuries, and operations on Howard University's campus remained unaffected. Reporting in Northwest, Candace Cole, DC News Now.
All right, Candace, thank you. And significant outages are hitting AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Downdetector.com is showing spikes in outages for all 3 providers today. It spiked around 9 this morning with more than 74,000 AT&T users reporting outages. Now, users reporting issues with all of their cell signal, and several users saying that they were not able to make or receive calls, but texting appeared to be working. AT&T still reporting high outages at this hour with more than 57,000 people affected. Well, AT&T saying in a statement, quote, that some of our customers are experiencing wireless service interruptions this morning. We're working urgently to restore service to them, and we encourage them to use Wi-Fi calling. Well, until service is restored, we'll bring you more on the story as it develops. Well, hundreds of Fairfax Connector workers striking today against the contractor Transdev. The strike impacting connector service already. Our Tosin Fakili is at one of the locations of the strike in Herndon, Virginia, and has more from the workers' union leaders.
Fairfax Connector workers striking today because of what they're calling unfair labor practices. And union leaders tell us that these workers have been working under an expired contract since December 2023. And this strike has led to Fairfax Connector services stopped and suspended for today.
Who moves this county? We move this county.
The strike happening at least 3 Fairfax Connector garages. The union, which represents about 638 Fairfax Connector bus operators and mechanics, says it's been in contract negotiations with Transdev since October 2023. According to the union, here's a timeline of how things happened. The first bargaining session happened in October. The current contract expired in November. In December, members voted to strike if necessary. And on Thursday, the strike began. The union president wants Transdev to put something on the table that looks out for the workers long term.
Put some dignity on your workers. Give your workers the dignity and respect that they deserve. These workers out here give 25, 30 years of their life to this company. All they're asking you all for is the right to retire with some form of dignity.
Other priorities for the new contract include more sick leave and competitive wages for bus operators and mechanics. Union leaders say they've sat down with Transdev for about 12 bargaining sessions since October 2023, and these workers are expected to continue to strike till about 7 p.m. today. For now, we're in Herndon, Virginia. I'm Tosin Fakile. Back to you.
All right, Tosin, thank you. In a statement to DC News Now, Transdev says that it was disappointed over the decision to initiate a strike despite a generous offer. Transdev says that it put forward a comprehensive proposal that includes significant wage increases, retirement savings, and additional perks tailored to employees of all experience levels. And you can see more on their response to the union worker strike on our website, dcnewsnow.com. Well, new this afternoon, a man and a 14-year-old boy are facing charges for allegedly breaking into a Secret Service vehicle being used by the president's granddaughter. That's according to the Washington Post. Back in November, Secret Service agents opened fire on the getaway vehicle used by the suspects after the break-in. No one was hit, and the Washington Post says 19-year-old Robert Kemp was arrested earlier this month. He's expected in court 1 week from today. The Post reports that the 14-year-old boy was arrested in connection to the 3 separate armed carjackings in the Northwest. In November, that boy was wearing a court-ordered GPS tracker that linked him to the break-in. Well, D.C. police released new information about the dog killed while in the care of district dogs in Navy Yard. Police say the employee was trying to feed the 5-month-old puppy when it got too energetic. The employee said that he kicked the dog to calm it down, and it lost consciousness. They say the dog was taken to a nearby vet but did not survive. DC News Now spoke to customers about the puppy's death.
Imagine going to pick my dog up and they're telling me the dog was killed.
It's really scary. You trust those people to take care of your dog, especially if it's a puppy.
So far, the employee has not been charged. District Dog says it's cooperating with the investigation. Human Rescue Alliance is also working on the case as well. In Fairfax County, police say Ricky Lowe is still on the run after stealing an ambulance from Inova Fairfax Hospital on Monday night. It started earlier that day when a license plate reader picked up his car as stolen. It led to a police chase, eventually crashing the car, and Lowe was taken to the hospital, and that's when he escaped.
Our focus right now is to find him for the crime they committed.
Most definitely, at least keys out of the ignition, most definitely. Leaving it open, understandable, you got to get something, but definitely keys out of the vehicle.
Well, if you have any information about where Lowe is, you're asked to contact police. Another firefighter is out of the hospital after a deadly home explosion in Sterling, Virginia. Loudoun County fire officials released this photo of Lieutenant Chris Kirkstra recovering at home. He had been in the burn center since Friday, and that explosion killed 1 volunteer firefighter and injured 11 first responders, and they're still in burn units. A federal health and safety agency is launching an investigation into the explosion. Meantime, Loudoun County's fire marshal is releasing the property back to the homeowner. Well, D.C. Public Schools opened its second early stages evaluation center in Northeast. The center tests children 2 to 5 years old for learning disabilities. And the executive director of Early Stages says testing can help kids start strong in school.
A child might have a speech delay, for example, or other health impairment. So there's a variety of things that might impact a child's education, any of which we want to make sure are addressed.
Well, the testing and special education services is free for all kids who live and attend school in the district. Well, parents in Washington County are pushing to have more of a say in policies set by the school board. Those parents say that their concerns date back to the pandemic when a new policy allowed students over 14 to get vaccinated without parental consent. Right now, there is a pending proposal to expedite parental challenges to school board rulings in district courts.
They would have to take this to court, and they'd have to be able to prove to a judge's satisfaction that what they want is superior to what parents' wishes are.
A committee will hold a hearing on the proposal before deciding if it should move to a vote in the full state House and Senate. In Maryland, Governor Wes Moore is distributing $10 million in grants for small businesses. Morning anchor Corey James explains why this is being done and who qualifies for the money.
And the small business grants are being shared through a partnership with the Maryland Department of Housing. Moore says the funds will fill vacant spaces and business corridors, create jobs, and increase local economic activity. Now, this is all part of his legislative agenda to make Maryland more competitive this year. Small business owners qualify for grants of $20,000 to $50,000, and businesses must be new or expanding. Priority will be given to businesses that are home-based or looking to select a first-ever commercial location. Applications will open March 13th, and small business owners can apply through the Maryland Department of Housing's Business Boost program. In the studio, Corey James, DC News Now.
All right, Corey, thank you. Good news for college students. President Biden is canceling federal student loans for more than 150,000 borrowers, and it's part of the administration's new SAVE plan. Those eligible for forgiveness borrowed $12,000 or less and have been repaying the loans for at least a decade. The administration is sending emails to borrowers who are eligible for loan forgiveness but haven't signed up yet.